From Vermont Public, this is The Frequency. I'm Aaliyah Papes, filling in as host for Mitch Wortlieb. It's Friday, October 3rd, and here are today's headlines. 2 private insurers, Blue Cross Blue Shield and United Healthcare, are leaving Vermont's Medicare Advantage market next year. A third, Humana, will only offer plans in a handful of counties. These were the only insurers left in the state offering Medicare Advantage plans. These are private plans largely funded by the federal government to deliver Medicare benefits to older adults and some people with disabilities. Mike Fisher, Vermont's healthcare advocate, says other insurers pulled out last year.
Vermont's Medicare Advantage marketplace has collapsed. There's no insurance companies offering a statewide plan.
Fisher says it's important for individuals to start exploring their options now. Open enrollment for Medicare starts October 15th and ends December 7th. Vermont is asking the U.S. Department of Agriculture for a statewide disaster declaration because of ongoing drought. The Scott administration sent a letter this week. State officials cite drought damage to vegetables and fruits, and also to maple and Christmas trees. And they say farmers are trucking in water for their livestock, and feed is in short supply. Roughly 94% of Vermont is facing severe or extreme drought with no reprieve in the forecast. That's the latest from the U.S. Drought Monitor. It comes as many farms are still weathering financial losses from flooding. A disaster declaration would unlock new financial assistance and low-interest loans. Windsor and Orange counties have already received special declarations. The drought has also put the state at increased risk for wildfires, and federal and state agencies are on guard. The U.S. Forest Service has temporarily positioned a wildfire response helicopter at Lebanon Municipal Airport to shorten response times to potential wildfires in Vermont and New Hampshire. Dan Dillner is Vermont's forest supervisor. He says the helicopter enhances state's wildfire fighting capabilities after a particularly busy summer fire season.
We've had a lot of fires throughout the summer, which is really abnormal because of the drought conditions. But one thing we didn't have in the summer was, abundance of new, dry, cured leaves on the forest floor.
He says that's changing now that fall has started and says the risk of fire could increase. Dillner says the helicopter can carry 2,000 gallons of water and do multiple drops around 60 to 70 miles from its base. State officials want to expand the use of short-term homeless shelters during extremely cold weather this winter. Lily Sojourner is with Vermont's Department for Children and Families. She says the state hopes to build off a model Burlington has used in recent years, where the city operates shelters for a couple days at a time as temperatures reach a certain threshold.
This year, we're really prioritizing that and investing funding to have it ideally in at least 6 regions around the state.
She says Vermont Interfaith Action is administering about $1 million in state funds for the initiative. Coming up, it's foliage season, and Vermont Public released a guide that will help you unleash your inner leaf peeper. Hear more after this. It's that unique time of year when the air gets crisper, the days get shorter, and Vermont's mountains and hillsides burst with reds, oranges, and yellows. You guessed it, it's foliage season. And while you can hop on a major highway to see some brilliant hues, for people visiting the region or new to it, finding that idyllic leaf-peeping itinerary can be tricky. But not to worry, we have you covered. A bunch of Vermont Public staff created a list of our 10 favorite fall foliage drives. And news editor April McCullum sat down with host Jen Jarecki to talk about it.
April, happy autumn, and thanks for being here today.
Hi, Jen.
So, April, as someone who has been steeped in this guide for the past many weeks, how would you describe the Fall Foliage Drive Guide to listeners?
Yeah, when you open it up, you'll find 10 driving routes that we think are great for fall views. And some of these are relatively short. Some of them you can make a day of it, especially if you do the stops on the way that we suggest. And we also have some extra add-ons that aren't too far from the route that might be worth a visit as well. And so you can really customize it to whatever you're interested in. We suggest things like short hikes, museums, historical attractions, cheese making, apple picking. And because it's Vermont Public, we also gave you some suggested listening that you can pull up and listen to in your car along the way, stories that relate to the areas that you're driving through. So we really hope you'll enjoy that. And I will just shout out our illustrator, Laura Nakasaka, who made this whole thing look beautiful with hand-drawn maps for each one of these routes, in addition to our Google Map link that we'll give you for each one as well.
April, Vermont is full of amazing foliage treks. So how on earth were you all able to whittle it down to just 10 drives?
That was the challenge of this whole thing. And so, yes, like we said, we relied on staff recommendations, people who recommended a particular road, and then we tried to figure out a route that would incorporate that road and some fun things that are nearby, especially if there's free activities nearby, we would give that some bonus points. We also just wanted to make sure that the whole state was covered. And so we did our best to represent each major region of the state so that there's something for everybody. And I will say these are not secret roads. A couple of them are even like official scenic byways, but we hope that they're not just the obvious ones. Like, we love Stowe, but we gave you some alternatives if you don't want to be stuck in traffic in Stowe or in the Notch. And at the end of the day, these are just suggestions to get you started, because pretty much any road in Vermont this time of year is beautiful.
So true. And so no interstate highways and no class 4 roads either.
That's right.
Okay. Well, April, as you well know, Vermont is experiencing drought conditions statewide. How is that impacting this year's foliage?
It's put stress and strain on the trees, and so some of them may have turned earlier or just maybe aren't as vibrant as they would be in a more typical year. And so some places of the state that are more dry have already passed peak at this point. But it's still beautiful, and it can vary from region to region. Jen, I know you were talking earlier off mic about how you had seen a big variety in the regions when you were driving around.
For sure. Like, Vermont really is a big, brave little state. So my husband and I went from Addison County out through Washington County up to the Northeast Kingdom to do a corn maze. In preparation for this conversation, April, I needed a fall foliage drive. And I was amazed how much color there was up in the Kingdom compared to how green it is down by us in Addison County.
Yeah. And so since we have drives for the whole state, as the season progresses, we got you. And we hope that you'll enjoy these routes.
So, April, if there's a final thought you might leave us with, what would it be?
I would say this is a great time of year to go out and play tourist, even if you've lived here your whole life. There are going to be thousands of people who are on the roads, who may not know the region well, who may not know the roads well, and just be patient with them. This is a chance to be an ambassador for the state of Vermont and also just enjoy this gorgeous natural beauty alongside the visitors who flock here for it every year. So just enjoy it, be patient, and be respectful.
That's Vermont Public's April McCullum talking about our brand new fall foliage guide with 10 staff favorite drives. You can find it at vermontpublic.org/fall. April, happy leaf peeping and drive safely out there.
You too. Thanks, Jen.
Thanks for listening to The Frequency today. We had additional reporting from Lola DeFore, Abigail Giles, Nathaniel Wilson, and Carly Berlin. Today's episode was produced by Adia Golston and edited by Stephanie Colombini. And our music is by Blue Dot Sessions. I'm Aaliyah Papes. Talk to you tomorrow.